Hello, good evening, everybody. My name is Edwidge Miranda Mondesir, and I have a lot to discuss with you guys today and about the incident that happened on the 8th of April. So, today, let's get into what I did today. Today, I went to the federal courthouse. I submitted a motion to submit evidence. Sorry about that, AC. I submitted a motion to submit evidence into federal court record and request for a review for me and my family. And not just that, I also filed a motion for my father, who's locked up illegally in state jail in Todd Road. I submitted a motion for emergency for immediate release or transfer from lawful state custody. So this was granted. This is granted by the United States District Court. This is what it looks like. This is the other motion as well. So we had submitted evidence now, and we just wait until the federal proceeds and sets up a court date for us. So I'm gonna discuss what happened on the 8th. So my mom was called a day before, a day prior, I don't know, but as I go live and I explain the story, just as the previous lives, I will put stuff how I did it as you know. Anyways, my mom was notified by John Taylor that she has court in courtroom 14 at 8:30 a.m. So we go to court on the 8th, not just for my mom's court date, but my father's as well. We went there to proceed evidence into my dad's case. So first, we went to my father's courtroom because they're already doing fraud, as everyone's gonna see. And just trust me and believe me, when I get through this live and everybody sees what's going on, that's it. So we went into my dad's courtroom, which was in courtroom 12, Paul Kawhi. That's the judge. I finally got to see my dad. It was a tough moment. His beard has grown a lot. He looks very skinny, like malpractice if he's not eating much. He looks sick. And his voice, it doesn't sound like him anymore. Like it sounds like if it's low and it's hard for him to speak. And it kind of breaks me a little bit. And I'm there standing with his documentations that sets him free on the 8th because he's eligible, and everybody knows this. When you do an inmate search, you see that my father's eligible. So what is it that they're saying that he's a flight risk? And I have his paperwork of an APP 151 that granted us this. That's what protects us. They stolen that on the 18th and trying to frame us so they could get away with it so we can't file a lawsuit on them. So my father represents himself to the court because he's now representing himself. He's pro se, everybody. And the reason why we were there was to submit his evidence, and the court knew that. And the judge, Paul Kawhi, says, oh, you cannot be representing for Edwidge Mondesir. He knows that we're not there to represent my father. He sees the evidence that I'm willing to submit into the courthouse. I was willing to give it to the bailiff. I tried giving it to the bailiff. The bailiff said no. Then my father explained that, hey, they're not representing me. They're sending evidence to help me go to trial, because that's what the hearing was about, for him to get to the next step, to pre-trial or trial. And they want him to go to court without no evidence so they could put him in jail.
Yeah, to pre-trial. They want to take him to pre-trial.
Yes. So they refused us. They literally huddled around us, pushing us back. Not pushing us, but like showing, like stepping in front of us.
Literally escorting us out.
Basically escorting us out. So we had to walk back. Because we tried submitting the evidence into the courthouse. They refused. And my father would have been released that day to get medical treatment. That's why I filed the emergency motion. So back to what we were saying. They kick us out. We couldn't proceed with the hearing with my father when he told them that the jurisdiction is now federal. It's no longer state, and that he filed a habeas corpus. This is all in transcript. And this is what federal is going to see as well. So after they escorted us, we are sitting in the lobby waiting for the next hearing. Because on April 8th, when my mom showed up to courtroom 14 at 8:30 a.m., because it says on the paper docket where you're looking at yourself in calendar, and that means everything in calendar is recorded for a hearing on a specific day. Now follow with me. As that Yeah, so it's on calendar, right? 8:30 in courtroom 14. We go in there. Me and my mom go in there. It's completely empty. We don't even see we don't see George David Hirsch in the courtroom 14 that he's always sitting in, especially when I arrive around 9:44 a.m. or 10 a.m. He wasn't there. And guess what? The bailiff said, "Oh, are you in calendar? Because I don't see your name. That there's only 6 people that he's taking in that room." It was very odd. So we're confused. Like we're on calendar for that day. It's recorded. There's emails. There's everything, even on calendar. And he called my mother. So as that happened, we go outside to look at the paper again, and it shows. And I'll be putting this up as I speak, like later on. I put that up, right? And you're gonna see that it says courtroom 14 at 8:30 a.m. Since they know that we come at a certain time schedule limit, they wait for us at 9:44 or 10 a.m. So where is the court hearing being heard when it's recorded in calendar in David Hirsch's room? So as we're sitting down waiting, we're thinking, okay, the bailiff kicked us out, right?
He told us to go to courtroom 12.
Go to courtroom
and ask
12.
the bailiff. Maybe we can speak to the judge there and be heard there.
Yeah. So we spoke to the judge in courtroom 12 to see if we're on calendar there, and we're not on calendar there. My mom is not calendar anywhere in the bottom area where the court's supposed to be proceeding.
Because for the public.
Exactly. Because upstairs is where you go to pre-trial, in trial, everybody, yes. Or preliminary hearing. Yes. Right? That's when you're getting ready to get into trial. First is preliminary, pre-trial, and then pre-jury, and then trial. That's how it goes. So as that happened, my mom gets an email around 10 a.m. 41 saying, "Oh, how did it go?"
After we already arrived in the courtroom.
Yeah, after we already arrived in the courtroom, it said, "Oh,
he told us
we're being sent out." He said, "We're being sent out to courtroom 26, Judge Bailey." But that's not how it works, everybody, and I'm gonna explain why. Just how you file a motion for OR release, or just how you file any motion like a margin motion, it's granted in the courtroom. Like for an example, my mom was scheduled for David Hirsch in courtroom 14, meaning if she were to file a motion to take it straight to trial or whatever the motion may be, therefore the judge will have to call the other judge through a phone or somebody to verify that, and then they'll say, "Oh, you'll be sent to this courtroom upstairs." So when they say that, it's recorded in transcript, so everything is followed by the rules. See, the courtroom 26 was never recorded or on calendar. Never on calendar. And that courtroom session is straight for trial or preliminary. Basically, on the courtroom 26, my mom goes in there, they strip her rights away, making it seem like she agreed to come there, especially when they have a fraudulent report of Ashley Susan's and mental evaluation. But the fact that my mom filed hers on the 17th of March.
And I got it done on the 3rd of March.
She got it done on the 3rd of March, and they're trying to say that she got it done on the 4th when we have paperwork that speaks for itself.
I never seen her or met her, so.
Never seen her in her life. So, and my mom even declined her services. So back to what I was saying. As that happened, we get that email, right? So we're sitting down. We're sitting down because we know what type of hearing that's going to proceed. It's an interest of justice, meaning the DA, her own public defender, the supposed lawyer that's representing her, will go against her. Ashley Susan will go against her because of the fraudulent report. The judge will, and it would be he said, she said thing because they're public officials, and then they will label her incompetent and throw her in jail, stealing her rights away, just as they did to Malcolm X's mother.
Yes.
That's what they did to Malcolm X's mother, because Malcolm X's mother was fighting for her Black Negro children. They put her in a mental hospital where she lost her mind. And anybody could research this. This is the same shit that they're doing, but it's no longer the 60s. We have technology now. So back to what I was saying. We didn't go. We're sitting downstairs waiting, and we saw him. John Taylor was calling out Maritza, And he knows who we are. He knows how we look like. We stare at him and we ignore him.
I turned away.
He walks away,
Yeah.
goes back upstairs somewhere. Give him about 10 to 15 minutes. He comes back downstairs and he finally approaches us. And this is where he uses like force and threat to put my mom on a bench warrant so they could get her for arrest. Forcing her to go into a courtroom that is not even recorded. By law, it's not even recorded. Therefore, it's fraud. They will be stealing her rights away and creating their own narrative. Okay.
I know that though.
So, sorry. So there's video, and I'm gonna put it up here for you guys after I'm done with this live. All these cops huddled all around us, threatening if she doesn't go upstairs. Yeah, and the people will see this.
Aggressive as fuck.
They told her if she doesn't go up there, she'll be filed a bench warrant and she'll go to jail.
I don't care.
And my mom, she stands her ground. She speaks for her rights in front of everybody, including me. I stand up and tell them this is federal jurisdiction. So how could she go to jail? What is she being arrested for?
What crime I commit? I know I went to court. I showed up.
Until this day, they never submit against us what they have in the courthouse. Nope. And they keep blocking us and refuse us to submit evidence. So that's how they would get away with their crime. So we sat there and we stand our ground. And there's going to be videos, and I want you guys to watch this. Because it gets fucking crazy. Like they're in a panic state. Like they don't know what to do. They want to force everything onto us so they could get away with it. Right now, federal is investigating, and it's crazy. After they tried to huddle when they huddled around us, right, with all these cops trying to intimidate us,
forcing me, literally, practically, they were about to just drag me.
Yep. And after that happened, we walk because they're trying to escort us out of the courthouse because they don't want us talking the truth. So we walk out and we go ahead and check at courtroom. Is it basically a courtroom? 118, which is a criminal.
The clerk.
Yeah, the criminal clerk office.
Clerk, yeah.
We go there to check if there's any information about a bench warrant. There's no bench warrant. And when my mom tries to put herself back on calendar for next week, which she has the right to, they refuse. They want her to show up the next day to courtroom 26, which is the same courtroom where they're going to do fraud. So my mom tells them and lets them know I do have at least 10 days for myself to be on calendar, meaning I have a week until I go to court when I put myself back on calendar, because that's what happened with me. So we know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
See, I put myself back on calendar on January 31st, and they didn't schedule me until February 14, where they illegally put me in jail for no reason, and it's proven. And that's where federal is going to investigate. Okay, so now that you guys understand that, so they threatened to call security, right? Because why?
Because I refused to go up there with them.
Yeah, she refused to go upstairs. And when my mom was telling them to give her 10 days because she has that right, he said, "Oh, well, I'm gonna call security." And you guys are gonna see that.
Yeah, your hearing's being held right now on 26, but I'm not on the calendar. On
the
minute order. Yeah, it's not recorded in the courthouse that I have to go there.
Yep.
So they're upset about it that I didn't want to go, and the reason why, because the whole entire time this man, what's his first name?
John Taylor.
He's been lying to me just like Olivia Hudner. So I don't trust them. And plus, all the evidence that I had submitted throughout the whole time, like they've been hiding it and destroying it. Literally, they're tampering and hiding my evidence. And
sorry, there's a call. Sorry.
And it's been going on for like 7 months. And I also was claiming the stuff that they took from us because, from my understanding, from what me and my family know, we were illegally evicted.
And it could be proven.
You cannot get evicted if you pay rent and then they sue you. You showed up with the lawyer and all your evidence, and the judge granted me because they lost. And, at the end of the day, they're doing fraud.
It's my brother. I'm going to pick this up real quick. It's my brother. Yeah.
And like he was saying, like they were just giving me a hard time. They surrounded me, and I don't know. I felt like they got too close to my personal space. All they needed to do was just grab my hand and drag me up. That's how bad it was. Like, to the point they triggered me, and they wanted that. So at the end of the day, I'm sorry, when you're being attacked, you have the right to defend yourself and fight back. And remember, there's a lot of them huddling me and my son, feeling like we're intimidated by them and we're threatened. And I told them, oh hell no.
And I had to explain
It's
to
time
him.
to like show them that I'm gonna defend myself. And I did. I stand my ground like I told them, and no is no. I refuse to go there because he is trying to fraud me, fraud the court, using court resources to fraud the court, to fraud us. And the crazy thing about it, I noticed that from my children's father's preliminary hearing about a year or two,
Mhm.
a year ago, it made no sense. And like they took him to trial, and his lawyer did not present his evidence either. It was Andrew Cross, Steinfeld.
Joe Steinfeld.
Yeah, Joe Steinfeld. So I noticed that these public defense, no,
Defense, yeah.
conflict defense attorney were hiding and tampering his evidence too, and bringing fabricated CDs by John Roth, the DA, and evidence they were hiding. So they were bringing in their own evidence, but they're never letting us submit our own. But it was so weird that they had us going upstairs, like he said, the second level of the building. That's for pre-trial and preliminary hearing and trial. No one goes up there to have a court hearing to be heard in
That's true.
the first level.
So back to what I was saying about the clerk in courtroom 18. After we were done there, it's like John Taylor followed us all the way around the courthouse. Okay,
yes, that was really weird.
So they escorted us, right? Because they wanted to take us upstairs, which my mom wasn't gonna go. So they escorted her outside, and they talked to us a little bit, the sheriffs. Then we didn't want to go directly inside again and deal with that. So what we did was we walked around near the roundabout
the roundabout,
just to get to the other
around
side
the building, literally,
of 118, which is the criminal record room.
Mm-hmm.
So after we were done there, John Taylor just walks out and he's following us. And there's a video, and I want you guys to watch this. Oh, sorry, guys. Hold on. This is what I'll be putting up for you guys. I hope you could hear it. Hold on.
Hey.
Yeah, hold on. Something happened with the sound.
Just know it's a crime. It's a crime.
I'll be putting the whole thing up here.
Because I'm going to go to the federal courthouse, and I have a civil rights appointment to report the fraud that's happening here.
And it's federal jurisdiction.
Yeah, it's federal jurisdiction.
Would you like me to make sure that the judge doesn't issue a warrant?
You said I have a warrant.
No, you don't.
Okay, so you lying to me again?
They're lying to me. It's a whole day.
And I made it so.
But you told me I have a bench warrant for today, over 3-4 hours, and I keep going to the window. They said I don't. So why you guys are lying to me?
Yeah, I'm your attorney. I don't.
You're not my attorney because you're not obeying the law to legally represent me as your client.
So you want me to keep the bench warrant from being
I'm
issued
going to
tomorrow?
federal courthouse. You guys have no jurisdiction over this.
How about you give
this
them?
case no more.
Yeah, Mom,
This
listen.
federal
Work with me and
federal
you keep
case
the
now.
warrant from being issued.
Okay.
Sir,
Perfect.
you're allowing them to
Listen.
file fraudulent case on my behalf when you know it's fraud by Ashley Susan.
She never
Okay?
met her.
Olivia Hunter's doing fraud. Did you know I have her on recording? And I can send her to jail? That's what I'm telling you, sir.
Let them.
I know my rights.
Let them know this one.
Yeah, go ahead.
We gave them a notice for you. Can you at least submit that to them? To it's jurisdiction of federal.
Excuse that. What was the volume is better,
Yeah.
so they can
I
hear.
want to know where the speaker is.
I know. So why am I there?
The only thing that I'm dealing
So
with,
why am I here?
I'm gonna tell you.
Okay, tell me.
The only thing that you're here for is for me to represent you in an incompetency hearing.
Why?
Because Dr. Ashley made the finding.
She's a fucking lying
yeah.
bitch.
Okay, so how-
That's okay?
Yeah. So
Because
how?
look, okay, so explain
I'm so
this
mad
to
at
me.
that time already.
Because I got a mental evaluation.
Right.
And I have it right here, and I'm going to show you.
It was filed on the.
And it
3rd.
was filed on the 3rd. So you're telling me
Who filed it?
she filed the report when?
The report that I have.
Yeah, I want to see it. I have the right to look at it.
So he
'Cause I
walks
can show you
away
my
to go on the
paper.
laptop to find it. And he's going to reveal it to you, people.
Yeah.
We filed ours on March 17. Listen to this. We filed ours on March 17. My mom's evaluation. Look at this shit. It's very stressful. Yeah, the paper flew away. I had to grab it and stuff. It was pretty windy that day.
This is my mental evaluation that I got on March 3rd, 2025.
Okay.
I have a diagnosis that I'm fair. It does not say that I'm incompetent. And it's from Exodus Recovery. And it's a mental evaluation.
It's the fact that nobody.
And it was submitted here with Olivia Hudnut and it's stamped by her DA office, her public defender office, and it was received on March 17, 2025, Ventura County Public Defender.
So
she has it.
That's true.
Mhm.
It was delivered to my office.
Okay. Is it in court though? Is it in my file? Is it submitted? No, it's not.
Because
Exactly.
That's not a court. Yeah. You
It's
know
not.
that
They've
when you
been
dropped it
hiding
off at
it.
the office, that wasn't a court filing, but she does have it.
How can it not be a court filing when it's my evidence to show my competency?
It doesn't. So our office is. It's not separate.
Did you know by law I have the right to refuse that?
Refuse what?
The mental diverse application.
Yeah.
Because there's no crime committed in my home. They commit a crime in my home by assaulting us, coming in our home with no warrant, and their body cameras were off, and stealing all our evidence, thinking we don't have any evidence to back it up.
We have the
We have
whole
everything
thing that shuts it down,
to
sir.
shut us
And
down.
that's the thing.
And you
Federal
you
give us a fair
and
hearing.
Olivia
They
Hudnut,
really
the
will.
judges, the DA, the conflicts, the defense attorney, all you guys are committing fraud by not letting us submit it. Why?
I only am involved for one reason, and that is because of Dr. Asher's report.
Because she's fucking lying.
Dead ass.
Look, sir, I'm letting you know and telling straight out right now, I will sue everyone involved for defamation of character.
I don't.
I have a recording
that.
of Ashley Susan doing fraud, and I already filed a police report, just to let you know.
That's.
At the end of the day,
I don't-
fraud is fraud.
I
It's a
don't,
crime.
It is. And they feel like they have power.
People have to
Hey,
hear this.
that's my
On
right.
top of it, though,
That's my right.
no one even cared to call to verify if it's.
They didn't even submit it
nobody
in court.
called
He
the
even
doctor.
said it.
They didn't want
They
to
only
call
took
it.
Ashley's report
Look,
when it's
hold
fraud.
on. Yeah.
Yeah,
Look,
sure.
So the number up there, right? We showed Olivia Hudnut it,
So she could
and
call it
we
and
explained to her
verify.
this is the
You're
evaluation you
supposed to verify
you wanted.
regardless.
So submit it or file a habeas corpus.
So when did Ashley Susan supposedly file my report?
March 21st, I thought, but I'll pull it back out again.
March 21st? I never seen her on March 21st.
My
or spoken
my
to
mom's
her.
was
That's
filed on
crazy.
17. So why was
So when
that?
did I actually spoke? I never met this bitch, so I don't even know
I'm
what
sorry,
report she's filing.
but I was heated
Because number
already.
one,
She wrote it. She spoke.
I never met her. No. Number one, I never met her.
Okay, do you
Number
want me to read
two,
this?
yes, sir.
Okay, I can read this.
Go ahead. I'll shut up. Go ahead.
Yeah, because
Thinking about rehearsal,
supposedly he's trying to help.
But I'm gonna speak after that.
and I'll show you what I have.
Okay.
So I don't know what is OPMHHS.
Call the doctor. He'll tell you.
That's
I
what I
don't know
mean by
either.
verify.
Due to your interest in OPMHS, I think it's something mental.
He wants me to
I think
take
that
therapy because I showed them the
think
crime
that-
that they did to us.
I think that says outpatient mental services.
Yeah, they want me to take therapy. By law, I have the right to refuse because they're not my doctor, and I have the right to go with my own primary care.
Let me do.
That's
That's the right law.
Let him
Mhm.
finish.
Yeah, yeah.
It says due to your interest in outpatient mental health services, your prognosis. So that means like your.
Anxiety that they caused to give me. They inflicted trauma on me and my family.
Let me
Yes.
decipher this for you.
Mhm.
It's saying your prognosis or your ability to address the symptoms of
Anxiety.
Anxiety?
Getting anxiety.
Why doesn't he say the word?
Yeah.
There's a good
It's
chance
true.
that you'll be able to get treatment and it'll be able
I don't need
symptoms will
treatment.
improve.
I got anxiety because they
It says
shot
you
my
are
children's
interested-
father.
It says you're interested in outpatient mental health services.
If I want to.
It's an option.
If I want
Yeah,
to.
if.
My right is if I want to go and see a therapist. That's my decision. By law, no one can force me. Not
They keep
you,
forcing
not
you.
Olivia Hudnut, not those corrupted judges, and definitely not the corrupted DA, Celeste Sanchez. She's committing fraud in my case. She allowed them to submit fraudulent declaration to
Yep.
court. I am normal, sir. The thing is, you're not normal. You're fucking violating my human rights and trashing me in
It's
court
frustration.
instead of
human emotions.
representing me legally.
Can
You're
you tell
not.
that I'm trying?
No, you're fucking not, because I have
I'm
the
sorry,
emails
but
to
he's
prove
not.
it. You're not.
And I have proof to show you guys later
You
through
did
the
not
live.
submit my evidence.
Hold on. First of all, you lied saying we couldn't file habeas corpus. You needed to be sentenced,
I'm
right?
not a federal attorney. So I
No,
don't
It don't
you
matter.
said.
that, though.
Not a
And it's
federal
He's
either.
still
recorded.
alive.
It's
It's
recorded.
recorded.
Please do.
It was
I don't know if you're
recorded.
recording me right now.
No,
I am.
yeah.
Don't act dumb. Yes, he knows.
Listen, you have the right to file a habeas
All the
corpus
time.
when you're out on OR,
Probation,
probation,
parole,
parole.
and what
You're
else?
not.
On bail.
I was
Yeah.
locked up. I was
Once upon a time. Hello, did he forget that?
She
That they put me in
She
jail?
was released
Federal
on
court
bail.
let me file this. So at the end of the day,
So that's a civil matter, right?
No,
No.
the whole thing
The whole
right now
thing.
is civil. You want to know why?
I'm
No,
not a criminal attorney.
listen.
It don't
The reason why
matter.
you're
it's
not even
civil-
my attorney,
Hold on,
so I don't
The
even know what you're
reason
talking
why-
about.
the reason-
It's
No,
because a
you're
human
not.
right was
You're appointed
violated.
by the court doing fraud on
The
me.
reason why it's civil right now is because they're violating federal offenses, sir.
Mhm.
To violate a human right is to violate a federal offense. Therefore, this is federal jurisdiction that we filed a habeas corpus, and we have a lawsuit in the federal, and they had fucking
changed the
taken
venue
it. They
too.
taken it. Yeah, we
It's
changed
already
the
Granted.
venue.
That's-
And you guys are aware because I submit
But
those
it's not being
documents.
submitted to the
But
court.
you guys are refusing to submit it to the court.
Never.
Like we never filed anything.
Meaning it's not being
Habeas
filed
corpus at
This
federal
in the
was
court
received
in our
on the
files.
25th.
and the change of venue. It's proven here, sir, that I submitted already, and you guys already received it.
And he's gonna tell us it
Change
wasn't
the venue to
granted
federal
by
court.
federal when it is.
For all of us.
They wouldn't give
Yes,
a
it
case
is.
number.
I have it
Yeah.
right here.
There's a court
See the
order
guy.
saying that this case is no
Oh,
longer
yeah,
in
well, I'm
criminal
from
court because it's in
That was-
criminal court right now.
No, this is for the change of venue that
That's a
is
change of
taken.
Right, so you're applying for it, but it's not very
No, not applying.
It's filed.
It's filed.
Yeah, it's
With a case
by the
number.
judge. If you would like the paperwork,
So you
I can
filed
email
the
it to you.
motion, Right? So
Yes.
you've asked for the venue to be
And it got
transferred.
granted. It got accepted.
That can't be true because it's still here.
No.
So
Because they're investigating y'all.
They grant the habeas then.
Yeah, they grant the habeas as
They
well.
tell the criminal court that
He's
they
frauding
haven't
us right here.
Yeah,
He's
so
they're
they
lying.
confusing.
Okay,
They
so
haven't done that.
Well,
the
They
letter,
haven't done that. It's still here.
the letter
Yeah,
from last
but the
night.
thing is, I submit my evidence
That could be
to close my case.
that could
you
be
and
something that happens
Olivia-
in the future.
You and Olivia are doing fraud. You're not submitting it because you wanted the fraud to continue, so they can take me in jail and say that I'm incompetent.
I'm trying to keep you out.
No,
he's
you're trying
not.
to knock
He's
me
lying.
up. No, you're not.
Yeah, I'm gonna prove
Because
it.
everything you
It
said
wasn't
to me,
me that
you
I
lied to me. Taylor, you lied to me.
Yes, he does all
You
the
lied to me
time.
more than once.
That's the reason
Yes,
for a
you did,
change of
'cause you said
venue,
I can't file a
everybody.
habeas
That's the
corpus
paper.
When I did.
And
You
you
said
told
I
us.
can't change.
I don't
Olivia
know.
said I can't change
Yeah,
the venue
you said I
when
don't know
did.
if Olivia Hudna told you this, but you
Mhm.
cannot file the habeas corpus because you're not in custody or sentence. Correct.
No, that's not
That's
true.
what you said.
That's not true,
You're
though.
saying though.
I think it's a good idea for
That's
you to
what
get a
fraud
copy
is,
of
to
the
deceive.
paper.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
going tomorrow.
It's not what
I'm
he
gonna go
thought,
federal
it's what he said.
court
You
to
have any
request.
advice on how?
I'm gonna focus. You know how they say stay in my lane.
Like I
I'm gonna
said.
stay in my lane.
Yeah,
No.
My
like I
lane
said.
involves one thing, and that's keeping you out of jail.
Like I said, I'm sick. I have
Making sure
documents.
you know what's going
I'm
on
gonna
in the
get
building.
treatment tomorrow, and I'm gonna see the civil rights
If I
tomorrow.
can't communicate with you,
I
and we
told
can't
you.
be on the same page.
I'm trying to
you're
get
gonna
an
get
extension
arrested.
for 10 days.
You're gonna
They
get arrested,
refuse.
right? Keep that in
I
mind.
don't care.
Mhm.
I don't care.
But don't you find it
I
weird
don't
that
care.
the
At the end of the
documentation?
day,
I
like
really
I
don't
said,
care.
I'm submitting my evidence to
I'm not scared to go
prove
to
my
jail.
innocence.
Tell you
You're
one more thing.
refusing.
What I'm afraid of is going to jail
I'm listening.
without
You're
defending
listening to
myself.
this is the
All
one
ears.
thing. Tomorrow, you have a court appearance in the same courtroom you were in today.
I didn't even go in.
Not
So what
going.
could
Yeah.
And I told you
Hold on.
why.
But why wasn't that notified the day before?
No, but they lied. They said I have a bench warrant. Where's my bench warrant? Over 4
This
hours.
didn't happen.
No.
It would have happened.
You're lying to
Lying.
me to threaten me so I can go to that courtroom
I will
so
tell the
they can
judge tomorrow.
arrest me because the DA filed some false declaration by Susan Ashley.
If you come to
Mhm.
court tomorrow and you do not cause a disruption, you will not be arrested.
Bullshit.
She didn't go
Listen,
yesterday,
I'm
recording
meaning
my
the
evidence.
9th.
They're not letting
We're
me
on the
submit my
11th now, everybody.
I'm not
Where's the
one
bench
that's
warrant?
causing
I
trouble.
told him I'm not going. He keeps threatening me with that even on emails until this
Yeah.
day.
You know
I'm gonna
I'm
show
fucking
everybody
living in
this.
county.
It wasn't
You
recorded.
know I get here at 9:40 to 10:30, so either way I can't show up at that time.
Nice thing to do.
No. these
And then
white
somebody
motherfucking
that
trash
doesn't
are
know what the
violating my human
conversation is
rights.
going on, you
And they're
talk.
walking all over me.
I just
thinking
saw
I'm
my mom
stupid.
ignore it.
I'm not letting my guard down because at the end of the day, I'm a U.S. citizen and I know my human fucking
That's true.
constitutional
Ignore that
27
dude.
rights.
Doesn't know what's going on.
Amendment rights,
Thing is,
yeah.
these
Mhm.
people
He's
think
bullshitting.
fucking fraud.
They're racist. That's what it is. They're
So,
racist,
yeah.
and they just want to continue frauding us, frauding the court, using court resources. Trust me, because if the money was coming out of their pocket, it wouldn't last this long.
It's all about money. That's
So
what it is.
after that, we went home and then so on. The next day, we went to federal, and I have proof to send the pictures as well for you guys.
Shit gets me heated.
So the 9th, my mom didn't go. He calls saying, "Oh, if you don't go, there's gonna be a bench warrant."
All day.
So he
He's
just
been
kept
bugging me.
bugging. So we ignored him,
Yeah, I
and
am.
we ignored him.
I ain't even talk to him
kept
no more.
he kept calling, and I'm gonna show you guys all the call logs and all that shit,
Mhm.
and the text messages that he sent.
You're lying.
Guess what, guys? He's no longer sending emails now. He's sending text messages. What the actual fuck? Am I right?
That's crazy.
Okay,
huh?
now listen to this. On the 11th, he called today, didn't he?
Yeah,
And
called earlier.
what did he say again? I forgot. But I'll put it up here. Let me just try to refresh my memory, everybody. He called again. Okay. Yeah, he called again today around like 5 o'clock, 4 p.m.
No, for something.
For something, right?
Yeah.
And then he says that the judge has voluntarily hold all your warrants. No judge holds warrants, everybody.
2 hours ago.
Not even Christy J. Peruso hold my warrant when she knows my commute. She knows it.
It's like 5 hours away.
She knows that I took it serious on the 14th of February. If anybody investigates the transcript, you will hear that I take my serious matter, that I'm never late unless it's an emergency. And they
Or you're
illegally
sick.
put me in jail. So they didn't hold that warrant. They didn't give a fuck. They said it's
Excuse our language.
yeah,
We're
excuse me.
upset.
But it's my problem because I'm a grown man now, so I must be responsible, right?
That's what she said.
Okay.
Mhm.
So what is this about them holding my mom's warrants?
For a whole week, Junior.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make
The
sense.
judge is not gonna hold no one's bench warrant. Trust and believe me.
So he called Branding and
Fraud.
saying, "Hey, if you don't go, there will be a bench warrant issued." He keeps using the same scare tactic, and I let him know. Okay, cool. Okay, call us when you file that bench warrant, and you tell us what jurisdiction it holds. Thank you. Goodbye. I told him, and he said goodbye.
Yeah.
So they have no power. Anybody. They have no power. State doesn't have power over federal. Federal is the father in the relationship. So what are they gonna do?
They did the same thing to Daddy.
Even if there was a bench warrant, we could still turn ourselves into federal. We'll still be heard fairly.
Excuse the AC.
So therefore, what is the bench warrant gonna do? They're doing this so they could cover up their ass. Literally, if any of us don't go to court, that's it. Federal fucking got them. That's it. So today I'm letting you guys know what's going on and what's gonna continue to go on. So on the 11th, when he called today, he said, okay, the next court hearing would be on the 14th of April. Be there for Judge Bailey has hold the bench warrants and wants to discuss. He even talks about my mom finally now submitting her evaluation into the court on that date.
And then he's gonna ask the judge not to take me to jail.
He couldn't do this a long time ago, submit her shit on March 17th?
But he threatened me jail time the whole entire time.
Make this make sense, people. And then he keeps calling our phone. He keeps calling.
Crazy.
I never got a call from my lawyer like that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I never gotten texts like that from my lawyer begging me to come to court for what?
It's crazy.
For
That's
what?
really weird.
And the fact that we let them know that it's federal, we have no right or jurisdiction to even be in Ventura County. That's it. There's no case over there.
We don't live there.
The case is here in Los Angeles
And we
County,
transferred
federal
over
government jurisdiction. So now that everything is out, they're going to have to explain to me and my family what the fuck they were doing in our home on September 18 and what the fuck are all these fraudulent cases. They're not just going to have to explain to me and my family, but federal government. And this is going to take place soon, everybody. The light is already shining right now with the truth. The truth is shining with the light. The truth is free.
Mhm.
Our freedom is going to be served soon. We're going to be...
We're hoping for justice soon.
Justice is going to be served. And I thank God for keeping us going. Faith and motivation and dedication.
Me and you.
No
Just
lawyer.
Me and him. No lawyer. Just me and him.
And now it's in federal. We had the right to submit evidence. That's why I filed those motions today, guys. So federal picks up on it.
We've been finding a lot of motions.
So my father is finally medically treated. Yep. So he's finally medically treated. My father needs a specialist.
I mean,
And
they
they
stole our money, so we gotta do what we gotta do to survive.
and they know this. They know that my father is sick for 8 months. Everybody,
He's very fragile.
no
He can barely
nothing.
talk. I can hear him gasping for air, like he's chasing his breath. I said, no, this is not even humane anymore. Like, you know, he's dying, and they know he needs a specialist, and they refuse to give him treatment. They're waiting for him to die in there so they can just get away with this hate crime that they did to us. Definitely, it's a hate crime, discrimination, and retaliation.
Yep.
That's how me and my family sees it.
So I'm gonna be submitting evidence here for you guys to see from John Taylor's calls, his
A
text
lot of them.
messages,